The atmosphere. There was a place in the Bible where it says that Jesus, he went around certain people and he said they didn't really care to really honor him. They didn't see him, whether he was hidden from them in the spiritual realm or whatever was going on, but they chose to disbelieve in him. And in doing so, he said he could not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. The atmosphere around the human people, the human race, is interesting to be around because you could change your environment and you immediately will begin, maybe not immediately for some people, yes, but start to feel better. People carry a certain invisible genome with them because we can't open up the human being and really see all that is going on inside of them, their thoughts and so on and so forth. But some people carry a cloud on their life. Other people carry the sunshine. And what do I mean by they carry the sunshine? Because there's no clouds there, because there's clarity, because there's transparency, because there's a whole lot of honesty, because they're safe. The sun is able to shine. They're basically allowing the light to be around them and through them and inside of them. They bask in the sunshine. And the same way in the spiritual world, there's a sun shining, the SON, Jesus Christ, that shines his brightness. That's why he said, I'm the light of the world. He who follows me will have the light of life and shall never walk in darkness. The thing is, people in general, that if you are around them and you are wanting more and more of the light, especially even if you're a very positive person, you will immediately pick up when the atmosphere has changed, when you go around doom and gloom, when you go around people who are carrying and don't mind, to say the least, that they like their darkness. Some people like their darkness, man. They like the thoughts they're entertaining. You know, Jesus said the light lamp of the body is the eye. If the eye is good, the whole body will be filled with light. And it's really a lot of times we don't people. I speak for myself, but I discovered that people in general are pretty ignorant of a lot of the invisible stuff going on, and they will be picking up and carrying other people's thoughts, other people's stuff, and they will think it's them, and they will say, "I feel like this" or "I feel like that." Well, feeling is very important because feeling is your sensors. You've been made in the image of God, and those things that He's placed through the generation, through the genes of the human race, those things still remain. When you feel something, if you feel the environment is off or the environment is on, you're picking up the carriers. You're picking up the people who are literally pronouncing around them what is going on inside of them. And people love to have the control, especially when people really like to control, is because they're very weak, they're very weakened, and they don't know how to find the strength to either crawl out the pit they're in, or they don't care. They've settled for the dark regions by which they live. It is utmost important when people carry on with the darkness and wrong and inside of them. It affects the walls. It affects the objects. It affects their clothing. They can come sit beside you in a restaurant. They could be 10 feet away. And it's like something literally came and through filthy water in the entire environment. And evil seems to have a much more pronounced power to it than good does, because evil is more aggressive than good is. And when the thing is about the evil in a person is that they have a uncanny sense, and they do. If you pick it up, the when the shift a shift, changes in the environment of happiness, lightheartedness, lightness. They have the ability to do things. If you observe them well enough, they will do enough to create a stirring to change the peaceability of the environment. And if you go into a city with so many people who are like a certain way, the entire environment of the city will be just like that. And if you had eyes to see in the spiritual world, you would see the decay and the putrid filth that is laying upon everything. It's like mold. It is the thing is about paying attention to environment, how you feel when you're around certain people, how you find that you lose your motivation. You find that even the what may be working out for you begins to unwork. The where your faith may actually, and faith is extremely important. And by the way, God communicates through faith. He doesn't communicate through fear. He doesn't communicate through unbelief. When I'm saying unbelief, when people get deep down into darkness, they will inevitably have a hatred for God because God is light and in him is no darkness. They will inevitably bring about their environment evil spirits who will even move them to do things physically to bring about greater measures of darkness. Their very words are defiled. Their very thoughts are defiled. And look, people who've done neuroscience even have proven this, that there's an electrical capacity going on within the thoughts of people. They call it one thing's called neuron mirroring. That when you're in wrong people, without realizing it, you are consistently sharing their neurons. So it is extremely important that how about guarding your mind, guarding the portals around your life, like your ears, your eyes, your nose. You know, some people have gotten the ability to be able to pick up smells from certain people and they don't know what it is. They said even with sociopaths, they have a smell of dead men, a smell of old decay from them. Even their stuff that they're sleeping on. You walk by, you go, ooh, what is that smell? And the thing is that the environment, if the environment is charged with a heart, see, God, when He created everything, everything He created said it was good for the human being the image of God. Okay? Doesn't mean being a complete image, mean a broken image of God after he fell. He still had the ability to conduct information in the environment, invisible information, because God started all of this through the invisible world. That's where it first started. And nothing has changed in this world. The majority of your physical activity that's going to go on in your life will begin or is happening first in the spiritual world, the invisible world. And that is what really is predictable to what's going to be happening in your life. Very predictable. Some people have even got the boldness enough to even leave an environment and they notice how it took maybe just short time or even quickly, things began to change. I can testify to this over and over again. I've discovered the more happier, the more lighthearted, the more kinder and good and gracious I was becoming in my life, the more I experienced onslaughts from people who were very close to me, who did not want my environment to be different than theirs. That's another thing about when you change your spiritual environment and you start to experience the heavenly movements around your life, because God communicates through one way. Okay. He communicates what's like him. Okay. And when you begin to have a lot of what who, who he is operating around you and inside of you, you will not but have heavenly experiences. People in general, they call it a crab mentality. People in general will try their very best through the means of unbelief, of having lack of faith, especially if you discover people who are of a darker type atmosphere. They're not very believy type people. They don't. Their belief temperature is not very high. They're more morose. They're more given to uh, uh, um, being negative than positive. They don't hope the best. See, hope, faith, and love, all these things are of God. They don't hope. The lack of love will be very strong with them. Okay. And the thing is, when it comes to even a joy, there will be a lack of joy in their life because these other components get to be hindered. That's why when the Bible says that Jesus could not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief, they changed the environment that was so polluted by their willingness for it to be there that God could not do too much in their environment. If you find in your life that God may not be answering your prayers and you know your environment is good, I would challenge you to maybe look around at your immediate environment because it could be other people in your environment who are literally blocking the blessings of God in your life. People that you are shaking hands with, people who you're willingly given a listening ear to, people whom you are allowing to be in your environment. They will, but no other choice, pollute your life. Because when I was going back there saying evil is very aggressive, good isn't. Good is very nice. Good is flows. Evil does not flow. Evil has to push. And if you were like go to nature and you walk by a stream and you like it, you feel it, it's so sweet, it's so nice. No one would never stand on the shore of a rushing, gushing water with a lot of filth going past it, turbulence. They would step away from the shore. And it's my invitation to it's an encouragement. It's kind of like saying, man, it's probably the only way to go in life. Stay away from people who have turbulence because there's something wrong with their environment. But pay attention, man. And I'm not saying you aren't, just an encouragement. Your environment is pretty well going to it's pretty well going to be predictable. It's the predictable compass. It's like the what I put it the radar system. It will basically be telling you what storms or if there's going to be no storms in your life based upon what's going on in your environment. Other people's environments, you're not the only one on this earth, and people will affect you more ways than you realize. Thank you and have a good day, and do like and subscribe.